Uh, so now we start with the cluster analysis. So what is cluster analysis and why do we use it? Any idea? Cluster analysis, why do we need to use it?
To divide the population into some groups. Basic idea is
Okay.
to make some groups so that for those specific groups we can devise some specific strategies, whether it is marketing strategies or whether it is social service strategies, anything.
Mm-hmm.
So in my
Okay, okay.
it is my opinion that we should
Yeah,
segregate the
yeah.
population, desired population, into some groups.
Why do we need to segregate? What is the purpose and what kind of studies are suggested where we need to perform cluster analysis? See, it is clear that every time you do not need cluster analysis. Yesterday we discussed about discriminant analysis, or when we discussed about the various parametric, non-parametric tests. So each test has its own objective. There is no replacement of anything. Like I do not know ANOVA, so I will conduct a correlation. It does not happen that way. Correct. Each test has its own requirement, its own objective in a study. So based on that, so that is my opinion that before actually jumping into analysis, first to understand the objective. Accordingly, from the available catalog of analytical tools, you pick up. So need based it is. Okay. Uh, so that's why I'm asking you what kind of studies are there where actually we need to have cluster analysis.
Ma'am, for marketing products, because for example, Mercedes car cannot be sold in rural area, rural
Yes.
villages, right? Whereas
Yes. Yes.
in urban areas, it can be sold easily because
Yeah.
the demand is supposed to be there. So we
Yes.
have to segregate the geographical area or some population into some unequal groups, because
Yeah.
to identify their needs is in a more meaningful way, we need to segregate so that we can have more fruitful results of applying our resources.
Yeah, you are correct, but I'm looking for a specific example. Just think of an example where I need to divide my respondents into cluster without which my study will not be fruitful. Think of an example in that case.
Ma'am, suppose if we want to go for marketing research of selling a new product, like
Hmm.
like spa spa
Okay.
providers.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
in villages, I will not be able to find a good population of customers. So
On
if
what
I
basis you will form those cluster? Why you want to form cluster?
For doing comparative study, for doing a comparison between them, ma'am.
Okay.
to know my profitability, in which area my profit will be more.
Okay.
In
Fine.
suppose if I want to estimate the demand of my product, whether it is spa or whether it is a refrigerator, suppose if I
Mm-hmm.
want to estimate the demand in each and every area, then what where is the more profitable business I can establish.
Okay. And let me ask you one question now. Is there any difference between a term when we use it dividing the people and classifying the people? Is there any difference that they are saying?
Yes, ma'am, there is difference. Dividing people means people belong to same category and we are dividing into two different groups. They are having same numbers. Each group
Correct.
having same number. Classifying
Correct.
means each group is having different characteristics. Yes.
Correct. So in cluster analysis, we divide the respondents or we classify them.
We classify them, ma'am.
Getting it?
There is heterogeneity,
Yes.
intra group heterogeneity.
Yeah.
Correct.
So when we classify somebody or something into groups or in clusters, we always need to have a basis.
Yes, yes.
Getting it?
Huh.
Yes or no?
Yes,
If
yes.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
tell you, if I tell
Huh.
you that divide 20 balls in 4
On a
bags,
yeah.
you will just put 5 balls or 6 balls in each bag or like that, you will divide it. But I'm giving you 20 balls and I'm giving you 2 bags and then I'm telling you to classify. Then immediately the idea comes that on what basis I classify.
whether color or whether
Like
it's size.
color, yeah,
Correct,
size,
correct.
It can be small ball, big ball. It can be
Mm,
the
color.
material of the ball. It can be the size of the ball. It can be the color of the ball. It can be the purpose of ball.
mhm.
So now I'm classifying it. Why I need to classify now?
To give more different treatments to different bags.
Yes, yes. Now the balls which are for tennis purpose, they are in one bag. The balls which are for cricket purpose are in one bag. The
Mm,
balls which are for table tennis purpose are in one bag. The
mm.
balls which are for kids purpose are in one bag. So now whichever purpose I have, that cluster or that bag I will use.
Correct, correct.
Understand me?
Mhm.
So what I have done here is I have defined that this is the basis at which I am classifying it. Let us say my basis is only the size. So
Mhm.
if this is the diameter, you go into this bag. If this is the diameter, you go to in that bag. In that case, I have given a different purpose or different criteria for classifying.
Right.
So now who decides this criteria? Researcher will decide the criteria that how the researcher wants to classify the respondent.
Okay.
Getting it? Now I want to classify my respondents based on income. Why I want to classify them based on income? Because my study objective is also dependent on income. Once I divide them on the basis of their education or on the basis of their income or on the basis of their loyalty status or on the basis of their lifestyle status, then I will think further that what do I do with them. First, I need to have the profiling. Are we getting it?
Okay. Yes.
So that is how I need to make clusters. I need to divide how many clusters will come, what they will do, and all that we will discuss. But this is the basic meaning of cluster analysis. This is the basic purpose of having cluster analysis.
So, ma'am, for profiling, we have to choose the same kind of parameters for classification of all the
Now
respondents.
we have different approaches. In cluster analysis also you have variety. There is not only one test. Okay,
Okay.
so that we'll see. Now theoretically, again we have different things. How do
So,
we make it?
so we can say that cluster analysis is also division, but with some principles.
Yeah,
We are
you have some
dividing.
criteria.
We are
Criteria.
we are dividing, but based on some principles.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Ma'am, the selection of the analysis depends on the hypothesis, like which type of
Yes, yeah,
hypothesis you
same thing
frame.
I told you. That will be decided by researcher,
Like because
supported by independent
if we
research.
select the like title, like we are doing comparative study between public and private banks. These are two type of strata, or we can say cluster also. But what type of hypothesis we frame, it will depend
Yeah,
on the hypothesis. If which test we will
correct,
use, which
correct.
type of
So
analysis
who
we
is
will
making
use.
hypothesis? You are only making hypothesis, no?
Yes, yes, ma'am. On the basis of objectives, what type of objectives
Yes,
we frame.
yes, yes,
Ma'am,
yes.
because when we just do the analysis, we got little confused. Like, okay, which test will be used for this hypothesis, and like we frame 20 questions, but sometimes 10 questions are used for doing analysis. Like,
That's what happens when you're not clear about the plan of analysis or when you do not know that which tool will be used in which context.
okay, okay,
But when you have the crystal clarity that I know that this test is used for this purpose, this test is used for this purpose, and in the beginning I know my objectives, my job is done.
okay, okay, ma'am.
Normally, what happens? I'll tell you my example. I in my university, it was like that time. It was a trend that in all the thesis we need to use a structural equation modeling. Whether you need it, you do not need it. Okay, because that was a kind of a trend at that time that in all the thesis, SEM has to be there. If your study does not require it, they need to modify it, make it in that way that where SEM can be used.
Mm, yes,
Okay. Now, what happens in that case? I was completely aware that I have to use this test after 2 years.
mm,
But questionnaire we make much before that. Correct? You have to propose a study. You need to set your objectives. You need to get your research proposal done. Okay. So that way, so what I did that in the first year, in the beginning of my PhD only, before even finishing my coursework, I attended the SEM workshop.
Okay.
Okay, I could only learn 30% in that workshop, but I actually came to know about the clarity that why SEM has to be used, in which kind of a study we use it, what kind of questionnaire is required, what kind of objectives we need to set, what kind of hypothesis we set. So why I got that crystal clarity, because that time in the beginning only I knew what is SEM, how do we do it, how do we run it, and everything. So that it became very easy for me from beginning. So my questionnaire from the beginning only was in line, well, because my objectives were set and my plan of analysis was clear. So nowhere I had a problem that I have collected this type of data. Now what do I do? Where do I go? Everything at I was having a crystal clear idea from top to bottom that what I need to do, how to start my study. So the proposal was crystal clear. What I am doing, why I am doing, how I am doing. When
Yes,
it
ma'am.
comes that, when you have the knowledge of review of literature and then you have knowledge of analytical tools, so in that case it becomes very easy for you to frame your objectives, and there should not be, basically if I say in simple term, there should not be no any ambiguity in your entire plan.
I'm actually in studying we just frame the objectives because at that time
Yes,
we didn't have the idea about the testing tools about the SPSS. But
yeah,
after framing the questionnaire and after collecting the data, we are facing a lot of difficulties. Okay, at that time we presented in our
yes,
proposal कि we will do this thing and we will do. But when we are doing actually analyze when we do the analysis, then we think it is like something wrong happened. We should
yeah,
done like this thing. So
yes,
ma'am,
yes,
what like I want to learn more and more, I want to like make a question, prepare a research paper on the basis
yeah,
of testing.
yeah.
So I want to know like how to frame a hypothesis and which how can I clear my doubts about
So for
I
that purpose, the easy thing is that, see, first of all, there are, if I tell you, five sections are there basically in research. Introduction is there,
Yes,
review
ma'am.
literature, then RM is there, analysis, and then conclusion.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
intro everybody knows how to write, in conclusion also you write. Now these are the
Yes,
three major building blocks. One is your review of literature, then
yes,
it
ma'am.
happens to be your RM, and then analysis. So
Yes,
these
ma'am.
three should be in connection.
Ma'am, I have a
Everything else
knowledge
will be
about
taken
theoretical,
care.
but I want to know about the practical
That
knowledge of
only
the
I'm telling. If you want to make everything smooth in your study or in your research or in PhD especially, you need to have idea about all the three.
okay. For that, I
My
have to
job,
attend more
yeah, yeah. My
workshop.
Shivangi,
my job became easier because RM part, review of literature part, and analysis part, I spent time there. So
Okay.
whenever anything you're framing, you need to ask that why. If you are taking sample size of 500, why?
Why?
If you are taking a sample size from only India, why? If you have answer of everything in your proposal, it's in clear. If you are proposing that I am going to use factor analysis, I am going to use regression, why?
No, ma'am, what I suggest is let Shivangi ma'am arrange one more workshop on it because it is not a simple thing. What Devika ma'am is asking, it has to
Yeah,
be explained in a very
yes,
beautiful manner, in a
yes,
systematic manner. So it
yeah,
requires a full workshop.
yes, yes. Okay. So now immediately we start with the cluster. So basically, more you read, more you will get knowledge. This is the only thumb rule. It will not come in one day. It takes months and years to come. That wisdom will be developed slowly. It will not happen in one day. Okay. So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is visible. The PPT is visible to everybody. Slide is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Cluster analysis.
Okay. Okay. So cluster
Yes, ma'am,
analysis
visible.
basically is a class of. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, everybody. So cluster analysis basically it is a class of techniques used to classify cases into groups that are relatively homogeneous within themselves and heterogeneous between each other. What it means? Group A, Group B, Group C will be different from each other. but respondents of group A will be homogeneous. Are you understanding? Okay. And on the basis of a defined set of variables. So these groups are called clusters. Now let us say if I want to define or make cluster based on age. Okay, which means that all the groups A, B, C, D will be of different age groups.
Correct.
But what is the similarity between them? Maybe they all are educated, maybe they all are online shoppers, maybe they all are farmers, maybe they all are doctors, like that. So they are homogeneous in between and heterogeneous between each other. Understand? So that is how you need to form cluster. So you need to have a criteria or a group variable on which basis you are going to form those clusters. So cluster analysis and marketing research, as we already know that most of the time cluster analysis will be used in marketing research. Rarely we use in finance. Actually, there is no context where we can just fit in. And the HR also we can use it. But the most common example we take is for marketing studies. So, market segmentation, as we know that the clustering of consumers according to their attribute preferences. Let us say I want to launch a product in market. So, my product is basically for a specific age group or income group or for a specific gender. Yeah. So, in that case, what I do, I have to cluster. I have to make cluster based on that. Understanding buyers' behaviors, you can understand their behavior or the class characteristics whom you are forming clusters. You can identify new product opportunities. Okay, clusters of similar brands or products can help identifying competitors, market opportunities. So let us say everybody is using noodles. So now you are forming the cluster that with what the brand they are using. Okay, accordingly you will make your future strategies. And then reducing data. So in preference mapping, so basically it will help you to make groups and easily you can interpret the nature of their respondents, that what exactly they are doing, what kind of behavior they show. How do we conduct so steps to conduct it? Select a distance measure, select the clustering algorithm, determine the number of clusters, validate the analysis. So
Ma'am,
basically, you need
for
to have
example,
a
for example, like we take the universities, like private
yeah,
universities, state universities, and central universities. They are
yeah,
different. They are different groups. But we
yeah,
ask the questions from the students from
yeah.
every universities. Then it would be considered as a cluster analysis, as a clusters.
That will depend that you can make a strata also or you can make cluster also, depending on the study what you want to do.
Okay,
Okay,
and so it would
so
be cluster when instead of like how we will decide.
that will I'm telling it depends on results and what kind of research you want to do. So whether you want to go with a strata or you want to go with cluster.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so there is no limitation as I told you that it all depends on research and nobody will beat you that if you use cluster. Unless you are able to fit into your study, unless you are able to justify with the review of literature, nobody will tell you that why have you used the cluster analysis.
So then,
Okay.
what is the difference between strata and cluster?
The where I have mentioned you first slide only, it is the exact opposite. Strata is the exact opposite thing of.
Okay, homogeneous and heterogeneous within our. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So now this is how we do it. So this is the set.
वर्षा मैम, आई
Yeah.
थिंक देविका मैम का जो क्वेश्चन है,
Ah,
सपोज शी इज टेकिंग डेटा फ्रॉम 10 universities
yeah.
for some study, and
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
suppose she wants to study the some parameter between different branches of engineering, let us say mechanical engineering, biotechnology engineering, in within these 10 different universities, then she can make some clusters for mechanical engineering students, for biotechnology. Am I correct?
See, I told you the nature.
Okay.
If you understood the first slide, it is the nature.
Hmm.
What kind of group you want to make? You want to make ABCD to be different,
Okay.
or you want to be the content within ABCD different?
Okay.
You understood? Yes or no? Tell me.
No, please explain
Con-
once again.
content.
Yeah, I just explained it. Wait. Uh, See, what happens here is that, as I told you that in cluster analysis, just remember that you have four groups: A,
Yes,
B,
yes.
C, D. You have,
Okay,
let
ma'am.
us say, 1,000 participants you have in the study,
Right, ma'am.
and now you are forming four clusters. Okay,
Hmm.
A, B, C, D.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
cluster analysis means that characteristics of A will
Hmm.
be different from characteristics of B.
Right, ma'am.
Characteristics of B will be different from C, and C will be different from D. Understood?
Okay. Hmm. Correct,
But
correct.
members in cluster A are same.
Are homogeneous. Correct.
Yeah.
Characteristics are supposed to be same.
Members in B are same.
Same. Correct.
Members in C are. So if I give you the example of religion, so
Hmm.
you have divided your people on the basis of religion. So you have taken four religion, and then you have divided into four clusters. So let
Hmm.
us say A is for Hindu, B is for Muslim, and C is for
Yes. And in the
Sikh,
religion.
and then Christian, like that.
Hmm.
Now A is different, B is
Correct.
different, C is different, D
Hmm.
is different. But in
Correct.
A cluster, everybody is Hindu.
Right.
In B cluster, everybody is Muslim. Understood?
Right. मतलब
But in
basic
strata,
characteristics are same.
yeah, now listen. Now in strata, what will happen? Exact opposite thing happen.
Hmm.
A strata, B strata, C strata, D strata. So in A strata, you have one Hindu also, Muslim also, Sikh also, Christian also.
नहीं, please come again,
Similarly,
ma'am.
in so
In
now you have
suppose
four stratas.
suppose
Okay?
in a cluster A there are only Hindus, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
And in B cluster there are Muslims. Now,
Yes.
now,
Like
now
that.
you now you please start about strata now.
Now strata. Let us say now you have four stratas. Okay.
Okay,
But in first strata A, Hindus are also there, Muslim is also there, Sikh is also there, and Christian is also there.
okay. That is strata.
Similarly in B strata, you have Hindu also, Muslim also, Sikh also, Christian also.
So that means first we framed the clusters based on religion, and
Now, no, please allow me to speak. Now, understand. So, when we were doing cluster analysis, cluster A was different, B was different, C was different, D was different. But
okay.
members in A all are Hindus. Okay. Now, here what is happening? All strata A, B, C, D are same. But members in strata A are different.
Okay, understood.
They
So it
are
is
not same.
exactly okay. It is exactly opposite of cluster.
Yes, that's what I was
Okay,
trying to say.
So
Understood?
you mean to say the group in groups, strata A, strata B are same, but
Yeah,
within them, instead of homogeneity, there is heterogeneity.
yeah,
Members are different.
yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Exact opposite. Exact opposite.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Understood? So
So,
now,
ma'am,
if you
how you?
ask me that,
So sorry to interrupt, ma'am. So, how
yeah,
you will, form the stratas? Can you give an
how will you?
example? Yeah.
Yeah, let us say if I want to form strata of, let us say I'm targeting a product which is available to everybody. Okay.
Okay.
Take any product which can be used by anybody. Okay, it can be cooking oil, it can be a soap or like that. Anything which can be used by the entire family. Now you want to make the strata. Okay, because all your participants are same. Correct. So you are
Okay.
forming four groups in which you are dividing them.
But ma'am, how we will divide? As you said in strata, let's say we have three or four strata. Strata A, B,
Strata
C,
is
D.
based only on number. That's it. Only based on the number. So
So,
out of 1,000 people, 250 you are dividing into all four strata. Cluster will
okay.
not have same members.
Okay.
Cluster A will have different number. Cluster B will have different number. C will have different number. D will have different number. But all stratas will have same number of participants.
Okay. And within strata, there is heterogeneity, right?
Yes. Now in this, as I told you, in the religion, Muslim is also there, Hindu is also there, Christian is also there. So everybody is there in strata one also, two also, three also, four also. Outside
But
it looks
any
same.
But anyways, ma'am, we are not concerned with strata, right? As we are doing cluster analysis, we should
Yes,
have,
yes.
knowledge about clustering.
Strata is basically only a sampling technique. That's it.
Yeah, that is correct. So sorry,
Strata
ma'am.
is not an
Yeah.
analysis.
Yeah, you can go ahead with cluster analysis, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Okay. Strata is just a sampling
ma'am,
technique.
just now you mentioned that stratas are of equal strength.
Yeah,
But suppose Hindus are 50 and Muslims
huh.
are
Equally
10.
you are divided. Now if you, let us say, in 1,000 participants, you have 100 Hindu. So
Hmm,
25, 25, 25 in all the four starters.
hmm.
You have 500 Christian. You are dividing 125 in each starter.
Okay, that way. Proportionately, you are dividing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank
It's just a sampling technique. That's
you.
it.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, it's not an analytical tool. Fine. So now we'll go for cluster analysis. Mm, Okay, so in a as I told you, heterogeneous and homogeneous thing. Uh, so this is how it actually looks. That basically I will tell you how to run this analysis. It's very simple. This is just a plot. This is the formula for defining distance. This is known as Euclidean distance. So which what it means, the distance between I and j and the value of variables xk for case j. What it is? So different measures and different weights. So correlation between variables we need to take, and how do we calculate? So this formula we do not need to see anywhere. It just we just need to run the principal component analysis first of all on our data, and then we go for cluster analysis. So first of all, we need to extract the principal components. Now there are various procedures for clustering formation. So basically divided into two categories: hierarchical procedure and non-hierarchical procedure. With a hierarchical procedure, you have agglomerated. Okay. So where what happens? You start from n cluster to get one cluster. Divisive, start from one cluster to get to n cluster. That happens automatically. How many clusters you are getting from your data? Okay, and then non-hierarchical procedure, which means that K means clustering. Here you are defining how many clusters you want from this group or from your data. How many clusters you want to form. So basically, that way it will be happening. Okay, K means clustering is more popular rather than hierarchical procedure, because here automatically you can define that how many clusters you need. Uh, so agglomerated clustering, how it seems, hierarchical cluster analysis. So this is just a method. If you see here is that numbers are given 0 to 25. So all the cases are being divided. Okay, this hierarchical cluster means that, as I told you, the nature remains same. Each cluster will be homogeneous in their nature. So accordingly, automatically they will be segregated. Okay, so how the linkage happens? Okay, so linkage method. So this all will not be visible to you. It all happens inside the software. It is just for your information that on what basis the software is classifying your respondents into cluster. Okay, how they are linking. So these are some methods for linkage. Okay, so first of all, it is single linkage to minimum distance. Okay, and complete linkage, maximum distance, and average linkage. So based on that, any kind of linkage method we can use, and on that basis we will be forming clusters. So for forming clusters, linkage should happen. Let us say the people who are going for cluster one, what is the linkage between them? Okay, that is how they will classify it. And then comes Ward's method. So compute sum of squared distances within clusters, aggregate clusters with the minimum increase in the overall sum of the squares. You will be getting automated values of all this. You do not need to break your head on that. It will come automatically with the moment you press these buttons in SPSS. If you are doing it manually, then only you need to understand all these formulas. Otherwise, not required. And then comes centroid method. The distance between two clusters is defined as a difference between the centroids or cluster averages. So that is all is for agglomerative clustering. K means clustering. So number K of cluster is fixed, where you are telling your software that these many clusters I need. So initial set of K seeds agglomeration center is provided. So first to K elements and then other seeds. So given a certain threshold, all units are assigned to the nearest cluster seed. New seeds are computed. Go back to step 3 until no reclassification is necessary. until can be reassigned in successive steps. So basically what happens that practically what we do, first of all we run the hierarchical cluster analysis, and then it will tell us you the how many factors or how many clusters are coming out, and then you go and you run the k means clustering analysis. So in that case your solution will be more appropriate, because how many clusters you need, how will you define it? So to define how many clusters we need, for that purpose we need to run hierarchical cluster analysis, which gives you the number of clusters in your data. Okay, hierarchical versus non-hierarchical methods. What is the difference? So no decision about the number of clusters. Okay, and here you will be having faster and more reliable. So your ultimate result obviously comes from non-hierarchical method, which we need to report. Problems when data contain a high level of error, and here need to specify the number of clusters. You can specify arbitrarily also. It can be very slow, and initial decision are more influential, one step only. And here need to set the initial seeds. Okay, so we will go from hierarchical to non-hierarchical. So first perform a hierarchical approach to define the number of clusters, and then use the k-means procedure to actually form the clusters. This is the exactly thing which we are going to do in cluster analysis. Is it clear? Yeah.
So, ma'am,
So, yeah.
we have to use both the types of
Yeah.
clusters. मतलब
Yes.
first,
When
first
I run the
higher.
data sheet, yeah,
Hmm,
when I will run both.
okay.
Okay. Otherwise, if you do not want to run both, in that case, the second one you have to run. K means cluster.
Ma'am,
Okay.
on the basis of cluster sampling, we decide that we will use the cluster analysis in our
Yeah.
analysis part,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it is cluster sampling is also one type of sampling method.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a sample how it looks, defining the number of clusters. So we call it as elbow rule. Okay, what is this elbow rule? I will show you on the picture also. So stage 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 11. So number of clusters. So basically, how the number of clusters will be formed, that will we will see. Okay, this is all will be in software which will happen, and we need to see the final result how it comes. So now this is your elbow rule. Okay, basically what is happening here that when we run the output, you see here this coefficient thing, you start analyzing it. So basically you are having here two clusters, okay, and these are the respondent numbers who belong to whom, right? And then you see coefficients. So you will see the difference. First one is 0.015, then 0.708, then 0.974, then 1.042, 1.1, 3.6. So where is the point where you will see first time the distance is high? That point you need to highlight.
So I think at
Yeah,
3.680.
yeah. So this will be analyzed through your elbow rule. What is this elbow rule? Here you see. So this is how, here you will see the maximum distance.
Hmm.
Getting it? Okay. All other places it is not that high. So this is the first time from since here when you started. This is the first time when you are having maximum distance of coefficients. So this is how you are marking this number 7. Once you have identified this number, okay, then you will just do -1, and these many clusters you are forming in your analysis. How do you validate? The impact of initial seeds or order of cases, impact of the selected method. Okay, this you do not need to see. Yeah. So now this is how we will run it. So this is our data sheet where consumer type is there, their name is there. Okay, what all they eat, that is also there. Okay, and then we have run the factor analysis over there, and then we came out with components, and on those components we need to run the hierarchical uh, structure. So let us say that you are having that 7 thing. Na? See here it is. Okay, so number of clusters. So how many stages are there minus that number you need to do, and those many clusters you will be having there. So 10 minus 6 equal to 4. This we'll see how it happens. So this is the first time the distance is more. Okay, if you observe it. So first time 0.026, 0.078, 0.224. So this is the first time when you are seeing the highest distance. So this number we mark.
Madam, what about
Yeah.
number of clusters? 10 minus 6. What is 10?
These are the observation stages you have taken. Na?
Okay.
Okay.
And stages are only 9.
Yeah. Start from zero, na?
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, can
So
you just run on SPSS and explain
yeah,
like
I'll
you did
run that.
yesterday?
Yeah, I will run it.
Yeah, it would be more helpful. And ma'am,
Huh,
on the very first day when you said, why do we do factor analysis?
huh.
So like, why are we doing cluster analysis? I'm not able to understand that.
See,
Why
cluster
shall we do?
analysis
Why
is
shall we go
always
ahead
is
and
there. Cluster analysis is always used when you have a larger data set, which is a variety. Okay, and when you sense that your respondents are not same.
Okay,
Okay, so in that case, you need more accuracy. As I told you in the beginning, only I defined the purpose of this cluster analysis. That when you want to know more about your respondents, you want to launch a new product. So you want to launch a new
okay,
product for a specific cluster. You want to segment your market.
okay.
Understood? So for that, when you're segmenting your market, I hope you know the meaning of segmenting a market.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
yeah. I know, ma'am.
targeting. You're not
Marketing is
targeting
one.
the
Yeah, market.
you're
Yeah.
not targeting the entire market. You are segmenting the market, and then you are focusing that segment only. How you will make
Correct.
that segment? That is what we are doing in cluster analysis.
Okay. So for that we have to do cluster analysis.
Yes, yes, yes. So
So
basically, it is
why
done by
shall
market.
yeah?
Yes,
Ma'am, as you said, for doing cluster analysis, first we have to apply principal component analysis, that is factor
yes,
analysis, right?
yes,
And
yes,
then
yes,
we have to. So first we
yes.
need to find out
So
the
which are
component.
the yeah, why we need to do that? Because we need to find that what is the dominant person, what is the dominant variable. We know
Okay.
not how the PCA comes from
Yeah, yeah,
eigenvalues.
yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
who are the leaders in your data set?
Correct.
Those are the formations. Those are the foundations to form your cluster.
Yeah. So I think, ma'am, when you will explain through the demonstration, it would
Yeah,
be more helpful, ma'am.
yeah, I will do that also. So
Yeah.
just understand here that
Yeah,
how
or
it
else,
happens.
ma'am, yeah, because or else you can also do it simultaneously, like you did yesterday. You
Yeah,
had
that only I
opened
will do.
PPT, huh?
Okay,
Yeah, so that would be more helpful, ma'am.
fine. I'll do that.
Yeah.
I have already opened the data sheet. It's visible to you? Data sheet is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm, yeah. So first,
Ma'am, please explain the variables that are there in the data sheet, or
yeah,
else
I'll
it
just
would be, yeah, not possible to understand.
okay. So first, now you see the PPT thing. So
Yeah,
this
I
is how
can
a data
see.
sheet is given to you. Okay.
Yeah, the
So now,
first
what
thing.
are the things we do? So first of all, we run the principal component analysis and save scores. Earlier, we were not saving scores. Okay. But we need to save scores because we
Okay,
need to run the further analysis. Okay.
okay,
So see here it is given that select the variables to perform the analysis. Set the rule to extract principal components. Okay. Give instruction to save the principal components as new variable. So I will just delete it because I already run it.
okay,
Uh, So now these are the variables. So you see here name is given. Okay.
okay.
Name of each participant is given. Then age is given. Okay. And
Ma'am, how they have measured age? Because I can see 6.20, four
huh,
point ten. So is it 4 years, 10 months?
yes, 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 babies.
Okay. And then mean SPN.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling everything. Okay. So this is memory span.
Okay.
Okay. Then their IQ level, and then their reading ability.
Okay.
Understood this much?
Yeah, so all these are continuous variable, right? All are the
Yeah,
scale
yeah.
variable.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
can we apply principal component on continuous variable?
See here, what we are doing is that now you need to little bit broaden your perspective. We are not conducting here factor analysis.
Okay,
We are using here factor analysis to make sure which is the dominant variable here.
okay,
Are you getting it?
okay,
Okay, we are not looking here for variables or factors or something like that. Our only intention is to know that who is the dominating among all these four. So let us say the person name or child name is Oscar. His age is 4. His
okay,
memory span is 4.2 minutes. IQ
okay,
level is 10V and reading ability is 5.60.
okay,
Okay, that is how we have measured. Now you imagine a larger data set of marketing.
okay,
Okay, so that is how that, let us say these are the people name, this is their age, and how much they are spending. Okay, how much is their monthly income. So like that you are now analyzing your customer profile.
So
Think
here
from a
basically,
marketer perspective, what are details you capture from a customer.
okay, so here basically we want to promote a product and we are trying to find out which cluster
Yes,
we have to target.
yes,
Is it?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am,
Now,
understanding.
now first of all, you press analyze. Okay.
Okay.
Or if you go ahead from here also.
Yeah.
Okay. That so first we do the same thing factor analysis, dimension reduction. You go to factor.
Yes. Okay.
And, all the four variables we have to take here.
Okay.
Descriptive. Now we are not interested in KMO value or anything. We do not want all that. What we
Okay.
want is only principal components, and we want to save it as variable. Okay,
Okay.
and nothing else I want. So I am going for extraction. Extraction, I want principal component. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, I do not want anything. Rotation, very much.
Okay. Here
Rotated
we have.
solution also, I do not want.
Okay. Scores we want.
Yeah. So there in this code, it will come in as save as variable. Getting
Okay.
it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I just need this. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
Anything in options? No. Then I just click on OK. And automatically it will be created. So my factor 1 and factor 2 has come. Getting it? I do not need to go to output sheet. I don't want to see anything.
So, ma'am, basically they have computed two factors and they have given
Yes,
factor scores, right?
yes, yes,
So if
yes. Now I'm
if
not interested in learning that total variance or factor loading and all.
yeah, yeah, I understood, ma'am. So if there are more dimensions, more factors, so there will be more
Yeah.
columns of factor
Yes,
one, factor
yes,
two, right?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Okay, it
Understood,
can be
ma'am.
6 also, it can be 5 also. It's a very simple data set. Okay.
Yeah,
So
understood, ma'am.
actual study when you're going for PhD cluster analysis, you can have 5 or 6 also.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is the first step is done.
So,
Okay.
ma'am, in this case, factor one and factor two,
Yeah.
only two variables have come after this
Yeah.
analysis.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, these are two factors. These are not two
Yes.
variables, correct?
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
two
Factors.
factors.
We here I'm calling them as principal components.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Done.
Allied factor.
Done.
Ma'am, what are the clusters here
We have
in
not
this?
formed yet. We will form. No?
Okay, we will find it.
We
As
have
of now,
just
we have only
computed the
conducted.
factor scores.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
This much is clear.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
it is
Ma'am,
clear.
what is the
Now,
significance of these
so
facts?
we are not. I told we are not interested in any statistics here.
Okay.
We
Ma'am,
are just
basically, for applying the cluster analysis technique, first we have to follow these steps, right?
see
Which we
basically
are
what you
doing
are
it.
doing now. You are combining all your data into dominant
Okay,
factors.
correct,
Okay, you are simplifying your data first of all.
correct.
Done. Okay. Then you go for cluster analysis. So how do we go to cluster analysis? Okay. So
Ma'am,
here.
please go a little bit slowly because I am writing
Okay.
the
Okay.
steps. I don't know about others, okay? Because
Okay.
you
Okay.
have not even shared the PowerPoint handouts, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, ma'am. So I need you are showing the steps for cluster analysis, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Okay. So now go to analyze, and
Okay.
here you will go for classify. There you
Okay.
will have this hierarchical cluster first. Okay.
Okay.
K means cluster we go later. First we go for hierarchical cluster.
Okay, ma'am.
So hierarchical cluster. Now we are not doing anything with our variables. We only need to do anything with our factors. What we have taken.
Okay.
So both the factors we need to take here.
Yeah, ma'am. Done.
Okay. Then you have statistics. So here you all the steps are written here. Okay.
Okay.
So check the agglomeration schedule. Yeah, it is already checked. Okay. And then if I click agglomeration schedule, you have written. Then continue. If I write on plots, I do not need any plot so far. Okay. If you
Okay.
want this, you can click dendrogram. Okay. This you
Okay.
can click if you want to see.
Okay. But if it is
Uh,
not required, then no need to
See,
click,
what is
right?
the problem here is that I'm not relying on this analysis. This is just my iteration method to reach how many clusters are there.
Yeah.
Because anyways, I'm going to use the k-means method.
K-mean method.
There I
Correct.
need to
Right.
there I need to put a number, how many clusters. So I need to have a basis. For that purpose, I'm
Okay.
running this hierarchical
Yes, ma'am.
one first. Okay, nothing
Yeah.
else. So
Ma'am,
then comes
ma'am,
method.
these two factors which you derived at, it contains age and memory span and
Yeah,
IQ and
everything.
but which one is having which one? It is not known.
No, we do not need to know only. That's what I'm telling. We will do all that later. First, we need to classify it. Then we will go case by case if you want to see.
Okay.
First, you are summarizing your data.
Okay.
Okay. Everything will come because once you divide it, here only everything will be seen in third column, once which I will create. So just wait for 2 minutes. Everything will come here only, all clusters. Clearly, you will be able to know who is belonging to which cluster.
Mhm.
Okay. So this much is clear. So both the
Yes, ma'am.
variables we have taken here, statistics we have taken here. Okay, agglomeration schedule. Continue. Then in plots, this dendrogram, if you want to see, you can click it. Then method, as I told you, which method we need? We need see linkage method, as I told you. So now between groups only we are looking here is okay, and interval, nothing you need to do here. Uh, yeah, that's it. No, here we need to do this What's method. Okay, automatically we are not doing it. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, What's method only we need to do here. So everything is written. What we have done here, we have chosen What's method. We have already connected PCA. We have checked the agglomeration, and we need to know the number of clusters based on this. How it will come? What is the measure we have taken? Square, LUCD, distance. This we have already discussed. Okay, what it is. The formula also was there on slide, correct? So
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is how it will be done. So now I will click continue, and now let us see what happens. So now we'll go to our output sheet once. Okay, this is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now first of all, what we have done here is today, first of all, we have run the factor analysis. So from factor analysis, see this is how it has come. We are not interested anyways in all this. I'm just showing you. Okay, so two factors we have.
Okay.
Total variance is
90.
93.619. Okay, then comes cluster. 20 total sample size we were having. Okay, though there are no missing values. Then word linkage. Okay, so these are the stages. Okay. Now, can you recall the PPT, or I will just show you side by side? Just give me a second.
Ma'am, please show it because this
Yeah,
is
just a
the
second.
first time we are doing it.
This is the
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am.
yeah. So PPT is visible now. See, if you remember, this I am talking about. Yeah, the agglomeration schedule. It has come now. So now
Yes.
we need to, as I told you, that elbow rule. So now start analyzing this column, coefficients, and start analyzing where you are having the distance. Okay, that is
Maximum
significant.
distance.
Yeah,
17,
first
ma'am.
time,
17 or
when you
18.
are getting, first time when you got it.
Madam, it can be at 16 also, and it can be at 17 also.
Okay, let us see. So see if here is a difference, then here it is coming. Here also it is coming. Then from 0.85 to 1.2, and then
At 6 also, we can say it
4
is
to
increasing.
8.3, then 8 to 22 it has come suddenly, okay, and then 22 to 38. So we just to see that what happens after that, okay, and these are the cases. This is your dendrogram, which I was telling you on this slide. I think I've shown you already. This one also.
Madam, what does it show basically, dendrogram?
See, dendrogram is basically just telling you that how they are forming the clusters. This is some technical diagram actually. So
Hmm.
what is happening here at each stage, how the iterations are happening.
Okay.
Okay, this is how it is.
Can you expand it, ma'am? Dendrogram.
Yeah. So see this here you will see these are the stages given to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the cases are given.
Okay.
20 total cases you are having now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, how they are combining with each other. So you
Okay.
will see that 18 and 20 is there.
Uh-huh.
Then 19 and 13 is being combined.
Right.
Then 18
16.
and 12 is combined. Getting it?
Okay.
These are stages, how they are doing the iterations to form the clusters.
Okay, ma'am.
It is just a visible thing that which has happened in the background on what you see. If you see this table,
So
yeah,
it is showing iterations also.
yeah, agglomeration schedule. If I show you, see, you will see here stage one. What happened
Mm-hmm.
in stage one? Participant 18 belong to cluster one, and this belong to cluster two. In stage two, what happened? In stage three, what happened? Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it? Now, how many clusters we are having here?
2.
Two clusters we are having here. How did we come to know that? Now, I will just show you the exact slide where we have done the subtraction. Uh, yeah, this was the elbow rule here, and totally it is just the steps also are there. Okay, as I told you that all the handouts and data sheets you'll be getting. Uh, this is all we have done. How your output comes. Okay, so number of clusters. How do you define? So only this distance you need to identify. That's it. Identify the step where the distance coefficient makes a bigger jump. So first time when it is making a bigger jump, that distance only you need to identify. Okay. Or the scree diagram also you can dot, which can be done in the Excel. Okay. So from there also you can identify. So here how it is happening? At 144 point you are getting it. Okay. So out of number of cases 150. The step of elbow 144. Getting it? So number of clusters are 6. If you are able to understand it. Okay.
Ma'am, can you explain in our data set?
Yeah. So now here what is happening here? How many clusters we are forming here? 2. How it has come like total? How many respondents we have here? Tell me.
There are total 20
20.
respondents.
Total number of cases are 20.
20.
Now you need to identify the point where we are having the maximum jump.
At 18, na, madam?
Hmm?
At stage number 18, there is a quite
18.
jump.
So if you subtract it, how many clusters you get? How many clusters you get?
From, okay,
20 minus 18.
20 minus 18 is, yes.
How
Correct.
many clusters you get?
Two
Two.
clusters.
Two clusters you get. So in our data set, our k value is how much now? K is number
Two.
of cluster.
Two.
K is 2. Okay.
Okay.
So once
Okay.
we have decided it, so what we have done the hierarchical method, and we have selected what method. We have applied principal component analysis, and by that we have come to know to this stage. And after looking at this table, we know that at 18 we have got it. So
Two.
20 minus 18 is 2. Okay,
Okay.
if it would have happened at 9, that means you are having 20 minus 9 means 11 clusters. So like that. Okay, so
So
we need to
basically, the
identify that.
formula is number of cases minus the elbow, right? The
Yeah, yeah,
maximum step at
yeah.
which there is elbow.
Yes, yes. So from where this point will come, that we have to analyze from here. If you're
Yes,
not able
ma'am.
to do it
Understood, ma'am.
manually, if you're not able to do it manually, so on an Excel sheet, just copy stage, okay, at your one axis and coefficient on one axis, and then just try to analyze the way it has been given in this picture.
Okay.
Okay, that will give you the easy thing. If you do,
Also,
if
ma'am,
you're
through
confused,
scree diagram, we can identify the elbow point, right?
yeah, that only I'm telling.
Okay.
This is
Okay,
also known as
understood.
discrete diagram.
Yeah, okay. Done it as. So once you have identified the number of clusters, then you again go to analyze, classify, and now you go for K
K
means
means K
cluster.
means clustering. Okay.
So
Just
now
one
you
second.
just
Analyze, classify, and came in.
yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So once you click on K means cluster, then you need to take the variables. So which variable you take? Only your factors.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And number of clusters, see automatically it is coming, but you can change it also. If you want to make it 3, that also you can do. But we need to make it 2 only.
Okay.
Okay, because that is what we have identified from our
Yes,
previous
ma'am.
data. Nothing else you need to do here. Just put number of cluster, your variables. Okay, iterate, everything will come automatically. Save, nothing we want. Okay, options, nothing. So we are only interested in classifying our data into clusters. That's it.
Ma'am, so
So now,
the reason we have done that hierarchical model just to identify the number of clusters, right?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, how will you make it? If you want to do
Yeah,
it
correct.
manually, that I am very much specific that I want to classify my data into 4 cluster only, whatsoever happens.
So
Then you
directly
put
we
your
can go
here
with
for.
came in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, ma'am.
understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Let
Understood.
us say, you have review of literature support that this kind of data should be divided into these many clusters.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Then you directly go with number of clusters. So running
Okay,
this
ma'am.
test, as I told you, is the easiest one. I think by now it would all your fear would have gone.
Yes, correct.
Discriminant analysis, cluster, these are the easiest to run. Only thing is that to understand the requirement. So
Yes,
that's why we need to spend more time. That I was telling you that running the analysis is not a difficult job.
correct.
Okay. So now number of clusters. Once I click the OK, then you see the data sheet. Okay, I will just show you the data sheet now. This all we do not need. Anyway, let it be. We do not need to do anything with it. Now you see here also. See, this is how like K classify cluster we have done. All the factors we have done. Specify number of cluster. Okay, that is what is there. Did we press all the buttons? Yes. Let me check it. What all we, yeah, analyze, analyze. So we have done classify. K means cluster. Okay. Both the factors we have taken. Two we have taken. And iterate and classify we have already done. So okay, membership I have not clicked. That's why. because I want to see it in my data sheet also. Yeah. So cluster membership. I want to also see that, see, although it is coming into my output sheet, but I also want to see in my data sheet that which participant belong to which cluster. That is why I'm clicking this option, cluster membership. Okay. So continue. Uh, Now you will see, I think you have put in your data sheet also. Yeah, now it has. So now you see cluster number has come. So what it means, you have two clusters. So participant 1 belongs to cluster 2. Participant 2 belongs to cluster 3. Participant 4 belongs to cluster 1. So each participant profiling is being done. Now easily you can classify these clusters.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the whole objective.
Okay.
This is how it comes in your sheet. So this is a simple test. Run your variables whichever you want. So now on what variables I should take in PCA, on which variables basis I want to form cluster. If I do not want to count age, I only want to focus only on IQ. And I do not want to focus on age. Okay, so remaining three I take. Or let us say I have 18 variables in my data and only 4 or 5 I want to use to form the cluster, which I find that these are most prominent factors for me to divide my participant into cluster. So based on that, I will form the cluster.
Okay. Ma'am, what is the contribution of principal component analysis in this?
See, this is what I was telling you from beginning. Principal component analysis will only tell you that how you are summarizing your dominant variables.
Okay.
Okay, now earlier, see, now you are having 4 variables. So basically your factor analysis has given you 2. Based on that, now you're running the cluster. So you are just simplifying your data.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. By considering all these, in this case, all the four parameters were taken.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, how we will finally interpret this one?
How?
Final interpretation will be what?
Interpretation is this only. See, you have classified your entire data into cluster. These are the studies based on for further research. It is not your PhD or something that you just classify and just you stop it there. Now you need to utilize this information. That is what is the entire objective.
मतलब,
Now what you want to do with this cluster now, that is on up to you, your study.
so out of these 20 cases, we have classified into two clusters and we have
Yes,
shown the final result that one number will go to second cluster
yeah.
and for example 7 will go to first cluster, like that. So this
Yes.
is our
Now, as a
final result.
marketer or as a HR person or as a owner of business, that is now your job. What you want to do with which cluster you want to focus.
Okay, you can say.
But ma'am, now what is the use of like Oscar going in cluster 2 and whatever going in cluster 1?
See, now you
What
have
is
defined it.
there in cluster 1 actually?
That's what I am telling you.
Yeah,
That
actually,
now, that is what I'm
uh
telling. Once you classify these clusters, so when you are looking only from management research perspective, you have just classified them, and then you will run whatever test you want, your ANOVA or something like that. That which cluster is belonging to what factor. Let us say now cluster one. So you can run further analysis on cluster one. That what are their characteristics?
Okay, okay.
Are you getting it?
So we can study further what is their age
Yeah.
profile or what
Now,
is their
now let
IQ
us say
level.
now you want to do the comparative analysis between both these clusters. You have classified them into two groups. See, once
now
you,
let
yeah.
ma'am, now let's take an example. I want to sell Horlicks. So
Huh.
which cluster shall I target? Cluster 1 or cluster
So
2?
that only I'm telling. No, sir, that now you need to analyze these clusters. That which cluster is important for you.
Ma'am, so then I think this cluster analysis till now was of no use. I would have rather done principal component analysis to find
Huh, so
out
that
the
that you
aligned
have done,
factor.
na? That you
Yeah,
have done.
means after coming as one sir was asking about the interpretation, we cannot
Hmm.
interpret anything, right, on the basis of this particular information, because now the
Can't you
main point.
interpret that who is belonging to which cluster? That is clear.
Yeah, yeah, this much is cleared, ma'am. No doubt.
Okay.
But I am
Listen,
talking about, let's
listen.
take an example. if I want to write a research paper on the basis of cluster analysis, so after
Huh.
doing entire cluster analysis I cannot interpret anything at this point of time, because now the main thing is I want to find the characteristics of both the cluster. That would be more helpful, right, to interpret the on the basis of the company's point of view, that which
Hmm.
product we have to sell in which cluster.
Hmm.
uh, can we do that? I'm just asking you, ma'am.
That is only I'm telling. Listen. See, here if you see here, if I tell you component meaning, so now you have divided your data into two groups. That is clear to everybody.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now you need to name this cluster.
Okay. Are we going to do that now, ma'am? Are you going to teach us?
No, naming, see, naming, you need to name it now. What will I teach you naming?
Ma'am, how will we name? On the basis of some
नहीं नहीं
characteristics,
नहीं नहीं
right?
नहीं नहीं मिस्टर सोहेल सी
Uh-huh.
वो जो मैं समझा वो बताता हूँ. So suppose we have arrived at two clusters, cluster 1 and cluster 2. Now we have to
Okay.
go into deep to understand what are the characteristics of these two clusters. Based on those characteristics, we will come to know ki which one cluster will prefer Horlicks or which
Yeah,
one will prefer
yeah,
which one will prefer
Mr.
Booster.
Sadbir Singh,
है ना?
Mr. Sadbir Singh, I understood that.
हाँ
That which cluster will, contain or possess what type of qualities or
हाँ
characteristics. That's what
हाँ
I
जी
want to know. On the
हाँ.
basis of that, we can give name to the clusters, right?
नहीं further analysis is required ना for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that what I was asking, ma'am. Are we going to do a further analysis?
Yes. She has been narrating that only ना.
See,
ये तो
now,
this is only
see,
beginning.
listen, you are not
Okay.
getting my point here actually. See, understand. What you have done here, you have done a data profiling here using cluster analysis.
Correct.
Cluster
Okay.
analysis is not your final analysis of your research. Are you
Okay.
understanding?
Yeah, ma'am. I definitely
Okay.
understood.
Okay.
I
Again,
understood
again, I
everything
tell
you
you one
taught me.
more thing. Okay. Again, I
Hmm.
tell you one more thing. Let go a little back, and then I think it should be clear to you. You remember factor
Ma'am, I
analysis when
want
I
to go
taught
a
you?
little bit forward. I don't want to go backward. I understood everything, but now we cannot interpret anything, right, on the basis of this information.
Sir, if you listen to me, then you will be understand. Na?
Yeah, ma'am. Go ahead.
We have run factor analysis. Understood. On how many variables?
There are
Four.
four variables.
So,
4 variables we have run the factor analysis. How many factors you have come out?
Two.
Two factors.
Did you name them?
No, ma'am, because here we are not doing factor analysis. Factor analysis was the prerequisite condition you said for cluster analysis. So we have just calculated the factor scores. We have not
Yeah.
even seen the total variance explained or something like that. Right.
Yes. So now what we have done here is that if we name those factors, okay, if we name those clusters, we have two clusters. So now we need to name these clusters. That what you want to call it. Are you getting it?
For better identification.
Yes
Okay.
or no? What is the criteria on? See, when you are dividing your data into cluster, you are dividing your thing into groups. You were having a prior objective in your mind. Why you want to classify?
Yeah, the reason we want to sell the product, so we are finding out which cluster we have to sell the product. There are n number
Yes.
of
Now,
different
if you see
demographics
here,
of clients.
how many cases are there in cluster one?
Cluster 1, there are 9, and cluster 2, there are 11. Total
Which
valid cases 20.
okay? Which cluster has more number of people?
Cluster number
Two.
2.
Okay. If I tell you that you need to sell a product which needs a sharper IQ, okay, which has a more reading ability, okay,
Okay.
fine. In which cluster you will go?
Yeah, ma'am, that's what I am asking. How will we come to know? Like cluster 1, which all characteristics are inbuilt, and cluster 2, which all characteristics or qualities are inbuilt.
That
That's
is
what I
coming from your
wanted to.
factor analysis, now from here only. From here only it has come. Wait, I just told you.
Okay.
Mm, yeah.
Shall we see the factor loading and things like that?
Yeah, which who is belonging to whom? That's it. And then you just name two cluster. That how what group you want.
But ma'am, factors and cluster both are different, right?
Yes, but you will be defining, no? See, as I told you the example of bag, you are just classifying those balls into bags.
Yeah, I still remember your example of
But
factor analysis, that celebrity
yeah,
one. We had given
yeah, yes,
name of the factors like trustworthiness, beauty,
yes, yes,
and something like that.
yes. So now
Attractiveness.
when you are classifying your participant into groups, you will name that prior, na, or not.
Yes, ma'am.
You will name it
So,
prior or later.
ma'am, so we need to see the indicator variables in the factors that you are saying us.
Yes,
So can we look now? We have the output, right?
yeah. So from this, see, this is a very small sample size. Maybe you are looking. That is why you are looking it at a very insignificant perspective. You are looking at it. But just let us multiply it by. Let us say the cluster one has 30 people, and cluster two has 800 people. Okay, just imagine that. And in that
Okay.
case, when you have already classified this cluster two has a majority of people. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Now cluster 2 has majority of people. So then now you need to analyze their profile, that what is
Yeah,
there, and based on that you need to target your product to them.
ma'am. See, ma'am, I understood everything what you're saying, but I want to now let's
Ah,
take an example. I want to analyze the profile of cluster two. So how can I analyze the
okay.
profile of cluster two? That's
You
it.
can you
That
can
is my question.
okay. Mm, fine. So let us go back to analyze. Okay. Here we have done the factor analysis. So now here if you also want to see your KMO, we do not want to see. Now you see component 1 and component 2.
Yes, ma'am, I can see.
So component
Yes,
1,
ma'am.
who is belonging to component 1?
Age,
Age belongs to
short.
component 1,
Yeah, age is in
and
component one,
short-term
then
memory belong to
component one, and then IQ belong in component two.
component
Reading
2.
ability belong to component one.
Okay, fine. So component 1 has more power to you, or component 2 has more power to you? Tell me that. Which cluster you want to belong to? Tell me which component you prefer. You prefer IQ or you prefer this thing?
Ma'am, so component and cluster both are same. You are going to, I mean, I wanted to know how to analyze cluster two, right? So if I want to target my product to cluster two, because
You are not giving my answer. No, you are again asking me question. I want you to name this. Which group you prefer? That you tell me na now.
which group I will prefer?
Among if I'm giving you two groups, component one and two, which one you prefer?
Let's take an example. I want to target those customers who are of component two, who has good IQ.
I'm
Because
asking you. The situation is in front of you. This is one component which has focus on age, short-term memory span, and reading ability. Another one has focus on IQ. Where you want to
okay,
target?
I want to target IQ because I want to
IQ
sell
you want to
Horlick.
target. So now
Yes.
people who are belonging to group 2 are your concern, or people belonging to group 1 are your concern?
Factor two, component two.
Factor 2 are your concern?
Yes.
Understood? Now your next question is that are they same? They are not same, but factor analysis is the basis to form your cluster. Okay? So based on this information, you are preparing that what kind of two groups you are going to get. Till see so far you get to know your number of clusters. So now you know that what which cluster name you want to give them. So accordingly, you are just classifying them.
So
Are you
I
getting it?
I will name
So now if
cluster two
I
as the
yeah now
intelligent cluster.
yeah so now my product is which is basically for people who have higher IQ. So I am only focusing on this. or if my toy, let us say it is a toy, it has nothing to do with the IQ. It is only for the people of this age group. So for me, age is more important. So accordingly, I have classified these two people. Okay.
So toys will be sold to group one, cluster one.
Yes. So now it is again depending on your thing, that where you want to sell your product. Okay. Now you want to know more about your descriptive analysis, who is belonging to whom. Okay. So then you can just here also, if I tell you that number of clusters also, in this case, what is happening that only two clusters you are having. In factors are also same. So you have just classified them, and then you need to do what you want to do with a particular cluster. You are not using everybody. You are targeting you are segmenting your market based on one cluster. So one cluster you need to choose which cluster you want to go for. That's what we are telling here. So your idea is not to do the research here. Your idea is just to classify them. What game you want to play with which team, that is your further game. Is it clear or not?
Ma'am, here I
Clear,
would
man.
want to ask one thing more, ma'am.
Yeah.
In
See, if
this
you want to know
example,
that this cluster analysis should tell me everything about my data, no, that is not going to happen. That is not the purpose of sampling. Is only sampling. No? Sample will not give you the result of your data sheet. Sampling is only sampling. So
Yes,
cluster
ma'am.
analysis will only classify your data into profile. Two clusters it has classified.
It is only for methodology
Okay.
purpose.
Now you are telling me that what is the purpose of this thing? Purpose is in front of you. See, this person whose age is 4 years, memory span is 4.2, IQ is high, belongs to cluster 2. So now you do an analysis on cluster 2, one analysis on cluster 1, and then you see that how they are different, how they are same, and then which cluster you want to focus. That is the job of market here. Our job is just to classify them. This tool is just to classify, not to reach on the conclusion. That's what I'm trying to say here. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
So the further analysis has to happen on each cluster, that what you want to do with each cluster.
Ma'am, I understood finally. Now we can do further analysis on the basis of this cluster,
Yeah,
and we
that
can
only I'm
take
telling.
one variable, right?
Yeah, did I ever tell you that you will be able to do the market research based on cluster analysis? Cluster analysis is forming groups.
Mm, yeah. So now we can apply maybe independent sample t test, ANOVA
Yes,
test,
yes,
and then
yes,
we can further conclude
yes,
what are the
yes, yes,
difference between both the
yes,
cluster. Yes, ma'am,
yes,
understood.
yes. It is just a classification tool. Discriminant
Yes,
analysis is
yes.
one classification tool. Cluster analysis is another classification tool. You're just classifying them. That's it.
Okay, understood, ma'am.
You understood? I hope so now. So now
Yes, yes.
the
Finally.
cross-sectional profiling, longitudinal
Yeah,
profiling, what you want to do, that is your choice as a researcher. So do
yeah,
not
correct.
blame cluster analysis that it is not telling you anything. It will only tell you that much only. If you
So now,
take a
yeah.
yeah,
So the column which we have derived, that is the nominal variable, right? Because we have only two options, one and two.
yeah, you call it nominal, you call it
Mm,
ordinal, doesn't make much difference.
yeah,
Anything you
correct.
can call it.
Yeah,
Okay, that does not make much difference because I can order also because there is a number cluster one, cluster two,
yeah. But
or you can treat it
there are
because
two groups.
nowhere,
There are
yeah, no.
only, yeah.
See, basically, either it is scale or nominal or ordinal, doesn't make any difference on your analysis.
Okay. But ma'am, there are two groups. There are two levels, right? One and two.
Yeah.
So we can apply independent sample t-test. If we had three clusters, so in that point of time we can apply ANOVA, right?
Yes. See, as I told you in the beginning, only you need to have a purpose. Why you are classifying?
Okay, correct.
It is not a play game that you are just pressing buttons and then you are just classifying and then you don't know what to do with it.
Yes, ma'am,
You
understood.
have you go to a class, there are 80 people, you divide them into four groups. Correct. You want to do some activity there, na? That
Correct.
activity you have already planned. That is why you have formed groups. So cluster
Yeah.
analysis is forming groups. Why I am forming groups? That has come from my review literature.
Yes, correct.
Okay, you want to interview them, you want to give them questionnaire, you want to give them, let us say I only want to give different questionnaire to each cluster. Simple, that is only my objective.
Correct.
Let us say I have four variants of my product. So cluster one, I want to give this product, cluster two, I want to give this product, like that I want to do.
Correct.
So this is only the objective. Just classify. Simple.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Okay. So that only I'm telling. So quickly we need to go for conjoint analysis now. We have very less time now. So this is clear, I hope now. Cluster analysis, how to run it.
Yes.
Okay. So it is just a data profiling. Different ways you have. As I told you, each tool has different objective.
Ma'am, for this analysis, cluster analysis, firstly we have to do a pilot study so that we can identify our clusters.
Pilot study cluster, right?
Like ma'am, like firstly we have to collect the data, like which person have a high IQ, which person have like which type of age they have. You told us now that we have to identify the cluster on the basis of the factors. So like from where we get the data, like firstly we have to fill the questionnaire, from
Questionnaire.
then.
Your questionnaire will give you the data, no? Yeah.
Okay, so like it like pilot is like we have to take the data, the whole questionnaire, na? Like firstly we have to
Yes.
prepare the questionnaire on the basis of our clusters.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
You know the nature of cluster, how a cluster is.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes,
Cluster A is different from B. So let us say here we have formed the two clusters. So one cluster is only having people, those who have sharp IQ. Another
yes.
cluster is having all different type of people.
Okay, so it would be a type of sampling, like we will
Yeah,
use in methodology, in
you call it,
methodology.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
fine. Okay, now conjoint analysis. Might be screen is visible? No, no.
No, ma'am, not that.
Okay, so conjoint analysis. So again, we start with research question. Okay, so that we need to understand why we need to use this analysis. So to what extent does each component contribute to the total utility of a product? Okay, conjoint analysis basically, I have not seen personally any study where we have used it, and it is a combination of programming and SPSS. So it is not directly, you will not be able to run it. Okay, so you have to have a little bit programming also. So that is what is there. So to what extent does each factor contribute to the total utility of a product? Total utility is the summation of all partial utilities. The database of the conjoint utility conjoint analysis are preferences of the interviewed subjects. So important application, how do we use this thing? Design of a new product according to the requirements of the market. In this context, we can use it. So factors and their values are defined by the researcher in advance. Okay, the various combinations of the factor values yield fictitious products that are being ranked by the interviewed persons. Using this analysis, it is possible to derive metric partial utilities from the ranking results. The summation of these partial utilities therefore results in metric total utilities. What it is actually, I will show you that. So basically, you will be having independent variable, you will be having dependent variable. Dependent variable is preference of the interviewed person for the products, okay, or the dummy products which are giving them. So utility structure of a number of person can be computed through aggregation of the single result.
Madam, can you please
Uh,
explain what is the basic idea behind this conjoint analysis?
yeah, I'll just tell you a simple study here that let us say you go to a mall and then there you use a product. Okay, let us say it is a cycle. So the cycle has been given to 20 people in that mall, and then they have been asked that how what utility they see in this product. So maybe they are asking you based on the price, based on the speed, based on the design, and then based on the model of the cycle. Okay, so all that, let us say they are giving me 8 to 10 attributes of the product. And based on that, each participant is giving their feedback in terms of utility of the product. I hope everybody knows the meaning of utility here.
Yeah, yeah. Use.
Utility means as a consumer, what use I see. So in terms of price, how do I see the utility? In terms of possession, what utility I see. Getting it in terms of place, what utility I see. In terms of brand, what utility I see in this product, basically. So I am, as a consumer, I'm just scoring utilities based on different parameters given by that person. Okay, and then we are just making a score, and we are just adding it up, and that gives us that what is the total utility of this product based on the participants' feedback. That
Okay.
is conjoint analysis. Did you understand it?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear it is. So that is how it happens, and the sample size is very less in these type of studies, and rarely you will be using this test.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
I suppose I'm visiting a place, let it be a lake,
Hmm.
and from that time, suppose from visiting the place, I'm getting utility,
Yeah.
and the clean water of lake is also giving additional utility to the local residents.
Hmm.
It has some different uses. Let
Mm-hmm.
it be. Then, can we use conjoint analysis to find the total utility?
Mm-hmm. No, not in that case.
Okay.
Okay, so see, basically, first of all, finding utility from customer and asking that what utility you have from this product, first of all, it is a very complex thing. It is not
Yes,
easy.
utility is a subjective thing. Na?
Yes. So that is why, as I told you, that rarely this tool is being used. So because what happens that utility is very rare. If I ask you, if I give you a chocolate and then I ask you that in terms of price, in terms of taste, in terms of possession, in terms of packaging, you explain the utility. It is very difficult for you to express it even.
Ma'am, if we will introduce a Likert scale, okay, how much you liked it
No,
strongly?
that is a limitation here that we are not using Likert scale here.
Okay, okay,
This is we are not using Likert scale. If we were using Likert scale, we would have gone to factor analysis and then we could have seen that what is the prominent factors which are contributing for this product. We are not doing that.
okay, okay,
It is the most elaborated version of that.
okay.
So basically, in running analysis, there is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but capturing the data and then interpreting it that how it is happening. So utility structure, you need to just aggregate. Okay, so
Okay,
independent variable, that whatever product attributes you are taking, that will become your independent variable, and dependent variable will be the preference for that product. Getting it?
okay,
So that is how it will happen. And then important for the choice of factors and their values. So this is the thing you can tell. It can be relevance, it can be interference, independence, realizability, compensatory relation of the various factor. Okay, they do not constitute exclusion criteria, terminableness. So on that basis, you need to judge that whatever utility they are expressing. Okay, example, attitude towards dishwashing products. So you are giving them these attributes. Based on these attributes, they need to express their utility. Okay, so it cleans the product, shiny, smell, quantity, packaging, design. So based on these six attributes, a consumer has to express their utility.
so the utility will be a number.
Yes, utility is always a number.
Then we have to put a range to them. Okay, you just
Yes, you
define
can
from
give
1
them
to
a
10.
range. Yes, you can give them a range also 1 to 25, like that also you can give them 1 to 100 also you can give them, but it is not a scale. Utility is always a number. There is no arbitrary zero also. If I tell you that this product is useless, does not mean this product is useless.
Ha, ha, ha. Okay.
Understood?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So that is why it is very subjective.
Hmm. Okay, ma'am.
So how do you design the survey for it? So definition of the incentive, okay, incentive is combination of factor values that is presented for rating. So profiling method, one is incentive results from the combination of the different factor values of each factor. Okay, and then two factor method is there. This is all you will not see in SPSS. Okay, there is no direct link to run this test in SPSS. So number of incentives can increase very fast. The choice of the number can be based on random selection, possibility of symmetry, and then basic plans for construction. So this is how basically if you focus here, yeah, this sheet you see. Okay, so attribute towards dishwashing products. The full design consists of 2 by 2 by 3 into 3 by 3 into 3, 324 different incentives. Okay, how did you calculate that? Based on the responses what they are given you. The reduced design consists of 16 incentives or cards. Therefore, we get a ranking from 1 to 16 for each person. So based on that, you see now you just need to interpret this. So let us say participant 1 has given the utility of 1 to cleanliness, 2 to shininess, then 1 to smell, 2 for quantity, 2 for packaging, 1 for design. Okay, and then we have done the ranking. Okay, this is a kind of card we make. How do we generate that card? That I will show you. Okay, and the column card shows the numbering of the card. Column status can show the value 0, 1 or 2 incentive that are part of the reduced design get the number 0. A value of 1 tells us that the corresponding card is a so-called holdout card that is not used for the estimation of the utility values. Basically, we do not need to look for all that. Okay, what you need to do, you need to just make a design, orthogonal design, which comes in a card shape. If you ask me the interpretation, it will just rearrange your responses of utility in the form of a card in orthogonal design. That is it. And then based on that subjective interpretation you need to take. Are you getting it? So all this tables and all that you cannot create in SPSS. You have to go for coding to generate all these tables here. Okay. One more thing I want to tell here is that this is a formula which already will be done. Yeah, this is just the code. This code I will be sharing with you. So what happens that in the SPSS window, okay, you just go for this code and whatever card you have taken or whatever utility values you have stored, the same card you need to just do it. Okay, so this is the exact syntax you need to paste in your SPSS window. So whatever data sheet you have for conjoint analysis, the same data sheet we will be fetching here. So let us say title is conjoint analysis, conjoint. So first of all, plan. These all are commands. Okay, so first of all, you need to fetch it. So what data sheet it is? So data sheet name is design, and then data command you need to run on it, and then you factors. So once you run the factor, then again all the names of attributes which you have taken in your study, you need to just write all the names of those factors, and then what rank you want to give. So that we have mentioned Q2A, Q2B, Q2C, D till P, and then print all. So once you give that command, then your utility value will be coming as a summary. That's it.
Ma'am, this programming is to be done where?
This will be done in SPSS only, but in syntax window, not in the actual thing. You will not be able to see it.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the steps as it is. You need to paste it. So first of all, the command in syntax have the following meaning. Okay, title. So first of all, title you type, and then you need to statement. It is possible to define title of the result. So conjoint analysis is the title. So once you type conjoint, it will come. Then the next command is plan. So what it does, plan subcommand tells conjoint which file contains the data for the reduced design. Okay, so first you plan. Then comes the data command. So data command will tell you conjoint which file contains the rankings of the respondents. Then comes the factors command. Factors is used to define the relationship between the factors that are preference values of the interviewed persons. The relationships can be discrete, linear, ideal, or anti-ideal. So what kind of relationship you are looking for, that only you need to type. So in this example, we have taken discrete relationship. So that only we have taken. Okay, so in this example, discrete we have taken because we have used the categorical data. So it means that there is no assumption or we have made then concerning the relationship between variables and ranks. And then comes the subcommand rank and conjoint. So that the data is coded in such a way that the sequence of the variables corresponds to the sequence of the cards. Okay, and then the subcommands score or sequence. It can be also used. Utility command, subcommand. A file with the name utility.save is being created, where various information will be saved. Okay, the constant term of the conjoint estimation, and so all these details will be seen to you in the utility file. With the subtitle command, a new subsection of the output will be introduced. With the get file statement, the contents of the utility.save are printed in the output window. So basically, the entire thing is of coding. Okay, this test you cannot run directly in SPSS. So this is how it will look. So all the utilities, it will come. So clean special additive to make glass clean, special additive to make dishes clean. Okay, so what is the utility that participants have given it? Importance of each, so average important scores. So which utility is the which attribute is the most important? So for dishwasher, the most important criteria is quantity. Okay, after that it is smell. Then we come for design. Then it comes for packaging, and then it comes for cleanliness and shine. So that's how your participants have given their opinion or the utility score to this product. Okay, so this is how again the same thing is there. So what you can do is that you can just put a dummy data file also in that case, and then you can try it. So this is the exact code. Different examples are there. Just as it is, you need to type in your SPSS syntax sheet. Okay. And further, if you want to go for clustering analysis, which we have already done, so that also can be done. If you want to classify your data, you want to make clusters based on the utility which they have given you, that also can be done using cluster analysis. This already we have done. Those who want to go for further analysis using cluster analysis, so first you have assigned the cluster number to each profile, and after that you can just go for this command data and select cases. And once you select the cluster, so that data only you will run the further analysis. What kind of analysis you want to do on a specific cluster? So that can be done in that case. Okay, so this is how your content analysis will be done. As I told you that you will not be seeing this studies in your PhD or in MPhil because these are actually not done because than doing this content analysis, people want to go for simple market research analytics rather than going for this study because capturing utility from participants is very difficult because utility will is very subjective and it will change according to so many other external factors also.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Because I am a student of economics, so
yeah,
I just want to add a point.
yeah,
Instead of this conjoint analysis in economics, we generally use hedonic pricing method, yeah,
yeah,
contingent valuation, yeah, choice
yes,
experiment, where we
yes,
estimate the willingness to pay for a product. That
yes,
will show how much they are interested in the product or how much satisfaction or use they are getting from the product.
yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Okay.
so I am done with my content. So Shivangi ma'am, you can take over now.
Ma'am, thank you very much. It was
Thank you.
fantastic session for all these
Thank
Thank
5 days. It was wonderful
Thank
learning new
you.
things.
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
It's just a request from you all that
Thank you so much, ma'am.
so that I can take the screenshots. Just for 2 minutes. Sabir sir, I have lost my connection in laptop. Can you take a screenshot for me on my behalf? I have lost my connection in the laptop. Can you take a screenshot for me on my behalf?
Shivangi ma'am, you will share, na?
Just take a screenshot, sir.
हम्म, हाँ, अभी 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 देखते हैं।
सही है. Good.
Sabir sir, please take a screenshot for me.
Uh,
Thanks, Nana.
पर उसमें सभी नहीं आ रहे ना.
मिल गया मुझे मिल गया।
हेलो मैम, सभी नहीं
Vaishya
आ रहे ना.
ma'am, can you take the screenshot?
I think only 9 people will come at a time. It's Google Meet.
Okay.
Ma'am, you can
Yes.
take the layout from below. I have lost my connection in the laptop.
So, yep.
Okay.
So you got the
I
screenshot?
tried it. Yeah, now I can take.
Yeah, ma'am, you can change the layout actually.
Yeah. I have taken it.
Okay.
You got the screenshot, Varshaji? I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Dr. Mohit,
Have you got the screenshot?
Yes.
Gigi, I think no. I thought there was a kind of a screenshot, Sadhbir ji. So I can't remember which screenshot everybody is talking of.
No,
Yeah.
I was asking what kind of consultant you are, sir, in which field?
I consult for JCI standards, Joint Commission International Standards for hospitals.
Okay.
So that's the kind of the work, and also a kind of a professorship in clinical psychology in the past, but more of academic work since couple
Okay.
of years. Right, Sadhbir ji.
Good. Good to interact with you. Good to see all of you. Thank you. very much.
Pleasure to see you all.
Take care
Yeah.
of all of you. Take care.
Sorry for interrupting. Thank you so much, Vaishya ma'am, for your 5-day sessions. We all were enlightened with all your advanced sessions and hope to conduct more classes from you.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, especially simplistic statistics SPSS to start off so that better could correlate in future.
Sure.
Thanks.
Sure, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Devika
Okay.
ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very
everyone.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, ma'am.
All the best.
Thank
Take care. Take care.
Thank you all of you.
I will sharing the feedback form. Please fill the feedback form. Then I will be sharing the certificates with you all.
Ma'am, we have already
Sure.
given good feedback. What do you need more?
Okay, then I will be sharing the certificates.
देविका मैम की आवाज इतनी बुलंद थी कि मैं घबरा जाता था कि ऐसा लगता था जैसे माइक लगा के बोल रही हो वो.
एक्चुअली सर मैं मॉनिटर रह चुकी हूँ ना बचपन से. इवन एमबीए में सीआर थी तो मेरी वॉइस इसी में एक्चुअली आई बिलोंग टू आगरा सर.
अच्छा,
हाँ तो आगरा वालों की कुछ आवाज बुलंद होती है ना
बुलंद
साइड
होती
के
है.
लोग.
बुलंद दरवाजा इसीलिए बनाया वहाँ पे शायद है.
हाँ,
नहीं तो वो मुंबई में भी बना सकते थे.
you are doing PhD from Mathura ना सर? GLE
Yes,
University.
yes. जी हाँ.
So you are living in the Mathura also?
नहीं, I'm based in Mumbai only.
Okay, you are in Mumbai. Okay, doing PhD from GLE University.
GLE University.
Okay.
डॉक्टर मोहित, तो
जी.
इस बुलंद आवाज के साथ हम जो है ना विदा लेते हैं एक दूसरे से.
विदा लेते हैं.
नहीं सर,
ठीक है, दोबारा मिलते हैं किसी अच्छी वर्कशॉप पे. होप टू सी ऑल. जी.
Yeah, sir.
वो तो
More and more workshops, sir.
प्लेटफॉर्म
जी.
इज देयर ना. शिवांगी मैम जिंदाबाद.
Platform is there. So true. जी.
So all the best
Sure.
to Shivangi ma'am.
I
और
will be sharing.
yeah.
Shivangi will
शिवांगी
arrange
जी,
more and
kindly
more
share,
workshops.
जी,
Sure.
डिटेल्स ऑफ जिन्होंने टीचर जो हमारे रहे हैं SPSS इनका भी डिटेल्स शेयर कर लीजिए.
जी हाँ. And Dr.
Sure.
Mohit, advise, suggest that on this WhatsApp group, let us introduce each other and let us
Yes,
save each other's numbers and help each other
yes,
So good.
for
yes, sir. It would be
questionnaire,
very helpful. It would be very helpful. I
for
also.
Will
questionnaire,
be
for
very helpful.
seeking
Yeah,
help
sure.
of each other, because it is a continuous journey. It is not a one day
So
thing.
true.
Huh?
It's a
Because
continuous
everyone has
process.
some expertise in his field now, so that we
Yeah.
can share each views, each
It'll
suggestions.
be so good
मैं
depending
मैं
upon
मैं-
जैसे शिवांगी जायसवाल जी के जैसे प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं
हाँ
कॉमन
Yes,
जो वो बोले we can go according to that. So true.
हाँ
No, sir, you
correct.
can share it out. I don't have any, so you can share it out.
Super. So that'll be
देविका
great.
मैम,
yes,
देविका
sir.
मैम,
Yes, sir. Yes,
मैं
sir.
तो मैं तो आपसे शेयर करना चाह रहा हूँ आपकी नॉलेज, मेरे से कुछ नहीं मिलेगा आपको.
नहीं sir, बिल्कुल sir.
I'm Dr. Mohit, am I correct? Because
नहीं नहीं.
Truly.
she is having so much wonderful knowledge कि पता
जी.
चल रहा था कि वर्षा
Sir,
मैडम पढ़ा रही है या देविका मैडम पढ़ा रही है.
is that actually I was a topper in RM group my in I'm
देखो
doing also PhD, but sir I want to know about more and more practical knowledge. I have knowledge about the theoretical कि ठीक है ये चीज ऐसे होती है, ये मीन निकालते हैं मीडिया ने, ये हमको ऐसा, but how we will apply in management terms, like if
yes
you are doing research, if you are preparing the questionnaire, we know how to prepare questionnaire, but we don't know how to apply the test on that questionnaire. That is the main problem. और it was my first workshop on SPSS. मैं क्योंकि फेसबुक पे दिखाते हैं वो तो फेक होती हैं, आप इतना, एक्चुअली माय हस्बैंड इज डूइंग PhD from IIT Roorkee, so I got to know about this workshop. I am doing PhD from Jaipur, but my
okay
husband is doing PhD from IIT Roorkee, so I got to know about this workshop. That's
okay
जी.
इसलिए मेन ये था कि अब it was my first SPSS workshop,
okay
and I'm looking forward more and more so that I can know, I can have a deep knowledge about the practical knowledge of the research methodology.
okay no
Sure,
no no
ma'am. I will be coming with more and more workshop for you. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, surely. Looking very
no
interested, very interested.
Devika ma'am, I'll share my experience. As
Yes, sir.
Shivangi ma'am had arranged this workshop for SPSS on basics. Then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
demanded that we should go for some higher version of SPSS workshop. So that's why she arranged this one.
Yeah, I have seen in YouTube link, YouTube channel. I have
Huh,
downloaded that SPSS, basic SPSS.
right. So based on your demand, based on
Ma'am,
your
you would be glad to know that Sadhvi sir is attending my workshop from my first day. When I have started this education consulting, he was my
Yeah, I
participant.
got to know about the conversation between both of you. Yeah, sir,
Oh, that's
शुरू से ही
great.
रहता है contact में.
uh,
And this is his fourth or fifth workshop. This is his fifth workshop with me.
Oh, fifth. Oh, yeah. Good,
नहीं
good
मैडम,
man.
सेकंड PhD आपसे ही ले लेंगे. शिवांगी मैडम से ले लेंगे. उस FD का नाम रखेंगे PhD in FDPs. Nice.
Sir, Akhil sir, and which stream you are doing PhD? What is your topic? Like, what is your
Uh,
area?
supply chain management.
Supply chain management. Okay, sir.
What about you?
Sir, CSR, corporate social responsibility
Okay,
management.
okay. What about Anil Tiwari ji? What about you?
Sir, I am a student, economics student.
Oh, fantastic. All the best. Dr. Mohit, आपका?
I am doing my master's.
Sorry.
What is your area of research, sir?
My area of research, basically postdoc in critical illnesses and behavior management from University of British Columbia, Canada. If you Google me, Dr. Mohit Bhatara, you will be getting me. Ji.
Oh, fantastic.
And rest side. Yeah, rest is on the healthcare side.
Okay. Because it is very inspiring to know the profiles of so many talented people on this platform.
Different people specialize. Yeah,
really,
social media has created such a kind of a component where people can connect and they can share their experiences positively in the
Yes.
right domain. So I fully support that. This is such a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good platform.
So
I unanimously got a kind of a mail, and then I thought, oh yeah, that's the right platform to do it. Why not? So
no, it's quite
we all are evolving.
encouraging
Ultimately, we all are
to.
evolving.
Yeah. So all the best, Devika ma'am. All the best, Dr.
Thank you,
Mohit.
sir.
Anup
Good, sir.
Tiwari sir. All the best.
Yes,
Take
good.
care. All the best to your families, and
Thank you.
take care
Thank you.
because we are in difficult times. Because of we are in difficult times of Corona, so we have to take care of our family, ourselves.
Yeah.
So that we can
Thank
join once again and again on various platforms of Shivangi Jaswal.
True.
Shivangi
True.
ma'am, thank you very much for bringing this talented group at this fantastic platform. Really, it is so
Thank you.
inspiring and so encouraging, so motivating to interact with talented people like Dr. Mohit, Dr. Anup Tiwari, and Dr. Devika with
Sir,
Buland.
you are also very inspiring personality, and
अरे
you're
नहीं,
always active in the
no, no,
group.
no, no. आप- नहीं, नहीं,
We
नहीं.
always have seen you like ma'am question answer, and you are very active and
Thank you, sir.
inspiring. You always like clear our doubts also with Mahavarsa ma'am. Thank you,
Okay,
thank you,
thank
sir.
you so much.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you. Chalo, thank you very much.
Hope to see you all in my next workshop.
Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Thank you.
Sure, sure,
Thank
ma'am,
you,
sure.
Marsha ma'am. Thank you, Shivangi
Thank you.
ma'am.
Sure, ma'am.
Have a
Thank you.
nice evening, all of you.
Thank you, Shivangi,
Dr.
ma'am.
Mohit,
Same
all
here,
keep
sir.
in touch. Keep in touch,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Good luck all. Good luck, Sadhbir ji.
Thank you. Thank you.